my name is Jannelle Hill. I am 25. I'm a wardrobe stylist. I'm from the Inland Empire. I've lived downtown LA for like 3 years. And yeah,
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. What are your thoughts on the new function on Instagram, Instagram TV? What is your thoughts on that?
um, so I have this really bad habit of not updating my Instagram because actually I'm not on Instagram that much. So I have no idea what Instagram TV is. I've heard a little bit about it, but I don't know where it is or what it looks like or what the function is.
So basically, what like Instagram TV is, it's like a place where you can like upload like videos, like similar to like YouTube, and they're shown up as like vertical, so like not horizontal and stuff like that. So basically, like the position, the orientation that you have on like you scroll on your phone on Instagram, and then I think you can upload to like at least like 30 minutes, 30 minutes to like maybe an hour. So like you can upload like 1 minute videos, like 2 minute videos, and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's pretty
That
much.
sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I'd actually sit and watch somebody for 30 minutes on Instagram, but
I mean, I haven't seen that
depends
many
on the content.
people like upload that much like when it comes to like 30 minutes, but like I've seen like 5 minutes, 6 minute 8 minute videos, not too long. So yeah, I haven't seen
Got it.
anyone like really ambitious to do that yet. So
So it's just like, is it live or it's just a video that's longer
no,
than a video?
no, it's just like a video. So like let's say if like like how people like do Instagram stories. So pretty much it's like content that people like put up like just like in 2 minute 3 minute video. So like sometimes some people that put up YouTube videos, like I've seen some people that are like kind of lazy. They like they rotate the orientation of your phone so it can be I mean they rotate the orientation of the video, so like the YouTube video, so it can be like upright, so like people can watch it, and so people just like rotate it so they can watch it like a normal YouTube video. And
Got it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen people like at least experiment and stuff like that. Like for me, like I know how to like edit to like make it vertical and stuff like that. I mean, so like you don't have to like turn your phone sideways and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like it's something interesting. But I don't know. I want to see like in the future if like something happens. So yeah.
If it grows into something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I'm kind of more of off social media movement and be more in the world and social in real life. So yeah,
That's
that's
what's up.
where I am in life.
Okay, that's cool. What are your thoughts on like Instagram stories? Because I remember like back in the day when like before Insta stories, I know people were kind of mad that like Instagram kind of like copied like Snapchat. Like, what are your thoughts on Instagram stories?
Oh, I hella fuck with Instagram stories. I actually liked the migration just because like for my Instagram audience to see what I would put on Snapchat or kind of just like videos or having videos and having the behind the scenes factor for my Instagram audience was really cool. I feel like it's cool because I post, like the final result of my work on my Instagram, obviously, but like the people that watch my stories get to see like the behind the scenes of how it happens, the making of it, all the going through of like what it takes to like actually make that picture that I just posted like, happen and serve on TV shows and episodes, like they get to see the behind the scenes of like it happening, and then they see it on TV, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to see like that on a story. So I actually like hella fuck with that feature.
Okay, that's cool. Did you tend to use like Snapchat that often, or were you just like more on the Instagram side? When it,
I always use Snapchat, and then once Instagram made like Insta Story, then I just like never use Snapchat. But then I just realized that like my old school family members and stuff are actually on Snapchat, so I my Snapchat again.
okay, cool. That's
But
what's up.
it's kind of hard to go back and forth and like maintain both.
I didn't get the last part. You was talking about like you're talking about your
Oh,
Snapchat,
I
like
said
yeah,
it's kind of hard to like maintain. It's hard to like maintain both of them. Like Instagram
yeah.
and Snapchat when you have like an Insta story option.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. It's funny because I always ask people that are like either Instagram heavy or like have like at least a like a decent following on Instagram. Like it's funny. some people that like they use Snapchat a lot, and then once that feature was on Instagram, like people didn't really have the need to go on it that much. So it's kind of interesting when I ask
Yeah.
like, yeah, people like that. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Um, what you call it? What are your like? I know I like asking other influencers this or like people that do different stuff. What are your thoughts on like the positives and negatives on like social media? Did you hear
The
my?
media.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
the
Okay.
positives is yeah.
Okay. I was
The
just wondering if you heard my
positives,
question. Okay. Cool. Yeah. My bad.
yeah, I did. Definitely, there's positives of social media. There's positive and negatives to pretty much everything. I think it's just the way that you use things in the world. Positive in the sense that everybody's accessible. Yeah, like it's brought the world a lot closer and like form to put out what they do and make it visual a lot faster. Um, and the negatives is the fact that like because it's so much content, people, fall in the illusional world where it's like, if that's even a word, where it's kind of like, one, they're putting out so much content, or just because they're on Instagram and you're seeing them so frequently, you have this illusion that they're like on or popping or they're like working. And in real life, that's not the case because if you're actually working, you're not on Instagram that much because you don't have the time for it. And also, just because with so much content, you like start to believe that it's good content. In real life, it's not good. Like it's just that you see it so often, and just the whole illusion factor of it is like a lot of these people are putting on like a facade of like what of their character or their persona that they're trying to like keep up, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, people make money off their persona. It's just a matter of the people that see the persona, of them understanding that it is persona and that it's not like real life, and they shouldn't like reflect on what they're doing badly because of what this person's doing via the illusion, you know?
Yeah, most of.
So, yeah.
I definitely understand that. I feel like, I like the aspect where like you can kind of like put yourself on a platform like nobody else can put you on except yourself, and you kind of like promote yourself like a certain way, and I like how like people can at least like make it like into like a way where it's like a community aspect, and I like that aspect, and you can network with people, so I like that part. I guess like for me, like the negatives can be like some people can be superficial or at least fake a certain way that you don't really live, and so I mean that's something I don't really like about when it comes to like maybe Instagram, because like some people edit their photos, and I don't know, some people can maybe I guess give them like selves like I guess a fake life, or like some people try to make themselves skinnier, like way skinnier, or like remove imperfections that like kind of like removes a part of them. So yeah, that's something that I really don't like. So
Right.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Is there like a certain way or like aesthetic that you kind of like post photos on your Instagram, or is it just like stuff of like your recent work that you've done in the past?
Um, I used to try to have an aesthetic, I guess. I, in like layout form, I used to do the white borders, and a lot of that was just because the pictures that I always got back from photographers never fit on Instagram, even with the new like Instagram adjustment situation. So I always used white borders, and then I, I don't know, I felt like it just didn't give enough effect of the picture because it was always still kind of far away because of the whiteness. So I just moved back to like regular just posting. But as far as like pictures in a 3 row and colorway and like all that stuff, not really. I'm not on Instagram that much or like care to be on Instagram that much to like follow or have like a real set like aesthetic or time zone of posting or like colorway or any of that.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. I mean, yeah, people have like different ways of posting stuff. So I mean, at least you kept it honest and kept it real. Like I just post what I want to post, and yeah, I definitely respect that. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. How did you get into like styling, like wardrobe styling and like costume design? How did you get into that?
Styling, I was my friends were in music when I was young and they had like a little one hit wonder. Or they were kind of like a one hit wonder. And so I got to watch them like, blow up and while I was like in high school. So I was watching them like get styled and stuff like that. And then I did like internship at like 17. I was doing like PR fashion internships, but I hated like the writing aspect of it. And but like the cool part was like styling the lookbooks and stuff. So I was like, I just want to do this like styling part. And like my boss at the time was like, yeah, you can be a stylist and stuff. So I was dating a stylist, or once I got to college, I was like dating a stylist or whatever that was like in LA while I was going to school. And I just kind of like watched him basically style his artists and stuff like that. And then I moved to LA and I like was like, all right, I'm just gonna style, and I just kind of like built my little portfolio up, did a little couple test shoots and stuff like that, and I worked with a lot of my friends that were music artists, and kind of just moved up the ladder that way. And then eventually, I assisted Ayana James, which was a costume designer, and she brought me into the TV and film world where I did Insecure on HBO, and yeah, so now I kind of do costume design for different TV shows. So I'm kind of just jumping around, kind of figuring out what I want to do. Um, Specifically in styling, I kind of in the music industry, just building content for like upcoming artists now, and then dibbling and dabbling a little bit into TV and film and like figuring out the costume design. So I'm still very very new to that part. And then working with Alina Baraz on like tour sets and her performance sets with her dancers and stuff. So that's new as well. So I guess I'm like not just getting into styling, but I'm like just getting into like the profession of it now, as it being like my main career and like tackling it.
That's what's up. How long have you been doing it? Like a couple years, 4 years, 6 years? How long have you been doing this like whole like sort of setup thing?
I graduated in 2016. And that was like a hard year for me because I really was like balancing going to school and building my portfolio and styling because I was about to graduate. Um, so I would say I sincerely started styling like that being my main job for about like 2 years. But like just hustling and styling and like deciding that that's what I was going to go for and like dibbling and dabbling in. I would say maybe about 3 or 4 years. A lot of 2 years of like doing testing and figuring out whether I was going to be a stylist or not, or if it was going to work or not.
That's what's up. That's cool. There's one photo that that
Mhm.
kind of like stands out to me that I've seen, and I follow this person. She's a model, Krista Santiago. There's this one photo
Yeah.
that I don't know. It was a couple photos that you did with her where she has like I don't know, like she has like a fishnet like long sleeve or something like that, and then
Yeah.
and I liked that photo. I remember like when she posted that photo, so I was like, that's real dope that you were able to style her. So that's like real dope. That's awesome. So like, how does that like come when you have to like style like certain like people? Like, how do you figure that out?
Figure it out as far as like what to put on them.
Yeah, yeah. Like, do you have to like figure out like the budget or pricing, or like when it comes to like the pieces? Like, how do you figure that out?
It's all different each project. With Krista for that specific project, it was a test shoot. So it was kind of more like creatives just collabing. She needed new content. The photographer, was like it's just a really good photographer that was in town from Canada, and she wanted to shoot models and use a stylist. And um, I was just needing some new like testing content, so we all just kind of collabed together. And actually, that just was really an organic shoot. I didn't pull anything. I just kind of was in my closet playing around. And then they called me like that morning. It was like, "Hey, you want to do a test shoot really quick?" And I was like, "Sure, let me grab some stuff out of my closet and see what we can make do." And those fishnets are actually just like actual body, like leg fishnets, and I just made it a top. I just kind of cut the crotch open and put her head through it, and we made it a shirt and stuff. So that was a cool shoot. as far as like other stuff, as far as like music videos and like TV shows, normally they give me a budget, and I kind of make do with what I can. Sometimes there's a creative director, so they already have a vision of like what type of looks they're looking for, type of moods they're looking for. Um, and with certain artists, if I have like full creative range, then I have to like decide, what's a look that's the best for them and what I can like realistically get for them to achieve that look within the budget.
That's pretty awesome. That's cool. Like you have like a passion for that. So I don't know. I mean, it's funny because like I know like when you look at like Instagram, you don't like really see that many like wardrobe stylists. I don't know. For me, I always see like a lot of photographers, models, or influencers or like YouTubers or like doing anything like in a creative field. So I think it's like really awesome that I kind of like stumbled across like your profile and then like the previous work that you've done. So that's pretty awesome. Is there like any like memorable like moments that you've done like when it came to like styling, like maybe like a certain like music artist, or do you have like any memorable moments that you remember from like doing this?
Memorable moments. I'm not sure. I feel like every artist is a different vibe, a different memorable moment. Obviously, I really love what I do, and it's like fun. So every D day is what I call it, is like, lit to me, or is like a fun moment that I take from it. Definitely styling Two Chains was crazy. Um, that was like a moment in the sense that like I got to test myself on. That was my first time custom making something, and also custom making something and a rapper being like, I'm not wearing anything you want me to wear. That was like that big of an artist. Um, and still like having to talk him into the look and stuff, and that working out. Being on set with Jay-Z and Beyonce, that's definitely in my top three moments. I like had to like give Jay-Z a sweater, and I was like running down a hallway too fast, and I like ran smack into Beyonce on accident and almost knocked her down. Those are some memorable moments. And just being able to like work with my friends mainly that are like, on, but like they're my friends. So it's like it doesn't feel like work sometimes. So and getting the look done. Um, I don't know. I can't think of like a specific memorable moment. Like every moment is like a memory, or every shoot's like in it for the books.
It's pretty cool. That's awesome that you were able to like create those like kind of memories, and especially whether they're embarrassing or not. So I mean that's pretty cool that you get to meet people that you never would have thought in your like wildest dreams. So it's pretty awesome. How does your like
Right.
family like react? Like family and friends like react to that? Like how do they think of like your job? Like do they think it's like really cool or like really proud of you? Like what do your like family and friends think about it?
It's pretty up and down. I mean, a lot more up, obviously. In the beginning, it was a little hard because nobody understood exactly what I was doing. They just knew that I was living downtown in LA. And to my family, it's like you're in Sin City. And um, yeah, so for a while, they didn't understand what I was doing. It wasn't until like my work was on a TV show that they were like, "Oh, you dress the actors, costumes make sense." And then they were like, "Wow, really proud of me." And it's cool mainly for my family in the sense of like, it's cool to have like my family be proud of me, but mainly like my nieces and nephews and my cousins, it's giving me like a place to be like, you know, um, I've got to a place in my career where I can now help them like be creative if they want to be, like my nieces and nephews and my little cousins and stuff. Like I'm that person in my family that's like, you don't have to, I'm for sure like go to school, but like you don't have to do like the normal stuff. Like you can actually like chase your dreams, and you can be creative and have an unrealistic job, or make your like hobby a job, and it like come to fruition. And I feel like I've proved that to my family that like we can be out here and do creative stuff and make money. And so now my, cousins and stuff have someone to like look up to know that like they can make anything possible. So I feel like that's more the rewarding part of, as more than it is just like my family being proud.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Do you have like any like fashion inspirations or like people that you kind of like looked up to like when you were younger or something like that? Was there like anybody you kind of like either tried to like model by or just like kind of like pull like inspiration from, or was there someone like that or?
Uh, um, there's like one person in particular that I can always like kind of give credit back to. Her name is Anne Marie. She goes by Master Disguise on Instagram. She is a stylist. She doesn't really put too much of her styling work out there, so you don't even know that she like really styles. But she is like herself a walking like photo shoot every day. Like her style can't be duplicated. And she was kind of the first person to, because I was living in the suburbs. Um, she was like the first person I got to see like via Instagram or like on social media. There was like a such thing as a stylist in the first place, or like people were even in LA chasing that. So I followed her on Instagram for a really long time and just like watched how she just, you know, put put things together. And I base a lot of my styling like off of her. And she's always like the first person that I look to when I like am about to go to a mood board.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty cool. Like to have somebody like at least in a field where like it's kind of artistic, where like they don't really post like most of their stuff, so you wouldn't even know. So I think I feel like people when it comes to like social media, I feel like some people kind of get the misconception sometimes. Like if they don't like post like a
Exactly.
lot of stuff, like oh they must be doing something else or they're moving on. I'm like nah, like they post stuff they want to. I mean like it's kind of like most people don't really look at the face value. I mean, like some people like either they get busy or they don't have time. So just like you said, like sometimes you're not on Instagram all the time. So yeah, I definitely understand that. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I usually ask like the people that I interview, but I ask this, but like, what made you want to say yes to doing this podcast? I'm always curious about like I usually ask everybody this, but like, I'm really curious about that.
Um, I think it's always cool. People always have questions. When I give people the opportunity to like ask me questions of like just in general. They always ask about like styling it. And before I never really had answers for them, but I feel like now I'm at a place in my career where I can like teach somebody how to get here, and I can like actually look back and see the steps that it took to like get somewhere. And I've mentally gotten to a place where I feel like I can give back to people in that sense. And like it's kind of like my responsibility because I was so blessed to like have open eyes and open ears to like the path of getting to what you want. So I think it's just my job to like give back to people on that. So like any opportunity I can to like explain to people like anything you want to do is possible, or like the steps to like getting to what you want is just to start. Then I like always take that opportunity.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Is there any like positive and negatives when it comes to becoming a wardrobe stylist? Because I know there's always difficulties in like every aspect in anybody's job or anybody inspiring to do something. But what are like the positive and negatives when it comes to being like a wardrobe stylist?
I mean, it's definitely more negatives than positives. It's a fucking miserable job for sure. You're like always stressed out 99% of the time. So it's definitely important to take like mental breaks if you are a stylist, because you're normally the shittiest person on set when things are wrong. Like it's always your fault. And you have to figure out how to do the most with the least um, like stuff and help. And it's confusing and hard, and it's almost impossible majority of the time to like actually make a living out of it without having to have like another job. So um that's the negatives to styling, is it's almost impossible. And the positives is like being able to make a living out of something that's impossible to do. And when you can achieve it, then it's the greatest feeling and reward in the sense that you like, you know, are getting to do whatever you want to do for fun and and pay your bills as much as it's stressful. Like you could be working behind a desk. So there's that.
True, true, true. So, so you're usually like the person that's usually like blamed for stuff, or like when it comes to like wardrobe, or like maybe you're dealing with people that are kind of like unhappy with what they're wearing, or is that something like you're kind of like,
Yeah, for sure.
mm-hmm,
You're like the like when things are wrong, it's people assume it's wardrobe. On top of that, people don't understand like what it is all entails to get a look done as far as like buying and getting and returning and pulling and they think like getting people dressed is such a simple job because it's just such, getting people dressed. Like fashion is something that people that are not in fashion want to act like is not a big deal. Um, so like you have to normally run fashion by people that are not at all in fashion. Like you have to run it by like 10 directors and everybody has to have, their opinion and they decide what they want. And then when you deliver what they want, 9 times out of 10, when they see it on screen or on camera, it looks totally different. They hate it and they want you to like change it or add or do something like the day of. And it's always costumes. It's always styling is what like the first thing that people want to change.
yeah, most stuff. So that's crazy that you have to like kind of deal with certain people that you gave somebody a certain wardrobe and they don't like it, and they want you to like instantly change it. So, dang, that kind of sucks. So, dang. Yeah.
Yeah, when your opinion is like the one that is like that's like determining what is considered cool or like your opinion is what's considered the best thing, then everybody wants to like include themselves in that opinion or it's just hard. Like you say what's cool and everybody has to agree that that's cool and that's never the case.
Hmm. Okay. And then usually towards like the end of this my interview, I usually ask if the people that I interview if they have any questions for me. So I'll leave that to the person I interview. So, do you have any questions for me?
Why did you want to interview me?
Honestly, it's weird. I just when I looked at your Instagram, I thought it was really dope. And at first, I thought you were a photographer, and then I looked at your bio. I was like, oh, wardrobe stylist. And so that was really different because I've never like really interviewed anybody who was like a wardrobe stylist. And some of the people that I follow you. So like I noticed like the people when I was looking at your photos, like some people that I follow like liked some of your photos. So I was like, I was kind of intrigued, and I was like, yo, I was like, I'm kind of interested. Like, what is she about, and why does she do what she do, and yeah, I was like, that's like something, and I was really impressed like with some of the stuff and some of the stuff I've seen on other people's Instagram. So I was just like, yo, like, and the way that I found you was I was kind of through Instagram Explore page. I was like searching through different people. That's pretty much how I do it when I like find different people, and I guess yours like really stood out. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Fun,
And
fun, fun.
yeah, do you have any more questions, or is that it?
I think that's it. I suck at the questions,
Oh,
honestly.
okay, cool. I think I only have one more question, but this doesn't really have to do much. But I was wondering what your ethnicity was.
I am black and Salvadorian. My dad is black and my mother is from El Salvador.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate you doing the podcast on like such a short like notice and stuff like that because I know you got to go, so I wanted to cut it like at a decent time. So yeah, I really thank you, and thank you for giving me your time for doing this podcast. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting and us finally being able to get it done.
Yeah, most def. I mean, if we have like a what you call it, if we have like another time, if you have like more time, we might do like maybe another podcast or something like that for like another day. If you're down for it, let me know. That'd be awesome to do like a longer one, and I think that'd be real